what happens after enlightenment? That's assuming that I am enlightened and I am capable of answering what happens after enlightenment. That's assuming a lot. But a little bit I know from my study and my experiences with people I think who are enlightened and what we have heard and seen in the tradition, I can tell you a little bit. So, again from the Advaitic perspective. Remember, Ashtavakra is radical non-dualism. And Ashtavakra gives you sort of a perspective from the top of the Everest, from the highest perspective. Swami Vivekananda says that in India, philosophy has reached such Himalayan heights, I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember the exact words, where human lungs can scarce breathe. So it's a view from the top, but it's a very uncomfortable view. It is very impersonal. And I've heard in different ashrams, people have told me, and somebody comes up with a question like this, and the Swami in the ashram says, have you been listening to Sarvapriyananda? And the Swami said, invariably it turns out that that person has been listening to one of the Ashtavakra talks. All right. Straight answer. What happens after enlightenment? Does the person retain an individuality? No, because we don't have an individuality even now. Even if we are non-enlightened, suppose we think we are non-enlightened, we think we are individual sentient beings, but according to Advaita Vedanta, that's just plain wrong. What's the fact right now? You are Brahman, right now. It's not that after we realize that we are Brahman, that we become Brahman. Look at the language. Does it merge into Brahman? Does the raindrop fall into the ocean and then merge? So assuming it was a raindrop earlier. The problem is such examples are used by Advaita masters. We have to be careful when the examples are used. The limited individuality set up by as he said, the physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body, that gives the impression of being a raindrop. But according to Advaita Vedanta, there never was a raindrop. Always there was this limitless ocean of, even ocean is an example. That was the truth always. Now, because we don't at all feel that, it's no use saying all those things to us. Now we have to be helped to realize that. Then a lot of metaphors are used. One raindrop falling. Shankara himself uses this metaphor. Raindrop falling into the ocean and becoming one with the ocean. But then the reality is, if you ask the enlightened one, so were you a raindrop and you fell into the ocean, became one with it? Were you an individual being, then you became enlightened, now you are Brahman? Of course not. I just realized I and everybody else, we always were this reality. We just didn't see it. Now we see it. Otherwise, the language of merging can lead to, I'm trying to merge with the infinite. I'm sort of 30% merged and 50% merged, almost 95% merged with the infinite. You are the infinite. Didn't you hear him singing? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Infinite existence, consciousness, bliss. So that's great for infinite existence, consciousness, bliss. But what about me? You are that. Oh, yeah, only after I become enlightened. No, you are that now. That Swami I mentioned, the obese Swami who was talking about Ashtavakra, he used to say that often he would repeat. I'll tell you the Hindi and then translate. ये बड़ी उल्टी दर्शन है महात्मा जी. This is a very strange paradoxical philosophy. तुम जानो या ना जानो, तुम मानो या ना मानो, तुम ही राम. Whether you know it or not, whether you accept it or not, you are Rama, you are God. But God, of course, we have to be very careful with what he means by God. It's absolute reality, not Ishvara, the God of this universe. That is really, really God. Ashtavakra himself sings. The ocean metaphor. Look at the ocean metaphor. 3 levels of understanding of this. Mai ananta maham bodho vishwapota itastata Brahmati swantavatena namamastya sahishnuta. In me, the limitless ocean of existence, the little boat of the universe, floats hither and thither. Why? Swantavatena, propelled by an inner wind. Normally there is a wind in the ocean and over the ocean which drives a sailboat. But here the boat has its own wind. What's internal, the wind internal to the boat? I guess they didn't have propellers at that time and engines, so they had to come up with this, an inner wind. What is the inner wind? Causality again. Because of causality which is entirely limited to the world, it moves in various ways. Sometimes things go well, sometimes things don't go well. Sometimes there is birth, sometimes old age and disease and death. Sometimes there is ill health, sometimes good health, sometimes success. The stock market is up, sometimes it's a bear market, and so on. Why? Causes and conditions. Causality. And all of that limited to the little boat floating in an endless ocean. What is that endless ocean? You. What's it made of? What exactly is it? Existence. Being. And it's a shining being. Awareness. So in me, the limitless ocean of being awareness, the little boat of this universe is floating in various ways. Sometimes doing well, sometimes seeming to sink. What is my attitude as the endless ocean? Na mamasti asaishnuta. I have no impatience. I have no intolerance. I forbear. It's nothing to me. When it's doing well, the boat is racing along nicely. Good, little boat, you're doing well. When it's not, try to do better. But I'm the infinite ocean, I'm all right. I'm all right. And remember, what is he saying? Normally we think there is a vast ocean of unknowns, this universe, space and time. In that I'm a tiny little being destined to, I was born the other day and I'm going to be destined to be crushed out of existence in a few days. He reverses it, Ashtavakra. You are the infinite. In you the universe is, you are like an ocean, and in you the universe itself, not just one person, not just one life. The universe itself is a little boat. And you are not impatient with its ways. And this is just superficial, the first level. There are 3 levels to this. Can it go any deeper? Yes. Remember, boat and ocean are still different. There's a boat which is not the ocean. So the next level goes deeper. It merges this difference. Mai ananta maham bodau vishwa vichi swabhavata udetu vastamayatu name vriddhi navakshati. I am an infinite ocean of existence. In me, the universe arises as a wave. Let it arise, let it subside. I neither gain nor lose. In an ocean, one wave arises. Is the ocean increased thereby? No. The wave subsides. Is the ocean reduced thereby? No. Even if a tsunami wave arises, ocean is not increased. Even if tsunami waves fades away into the ocean is not reduced. If birth comes, I have gained nothing. If youth and health and success and an Ivy League education and being a millionaire on Wall Street comes, I have not increased one bit. If the stock market crashes and I am homeless on the streets, I have not lost one bit. I am the same ocean of existence. What proof? You can say all this is terrible. Answer from Vedanta is be patient, wait a little. It'll all go away again. The Buddhist monk who came to the kingdom, and the king said, "Oh monk, I have so many," the king was his friend. So the monk said, "How are you, O king?" The king said, "I have so many problems. The kingdom is surrounded by enemies, the ministers are corrupt, the prince is indolent and not learning his duties. I don't know what will happen. And there is a drought and the people are starving." And the monk said, "O king, this too shall pass." And then he went away. A decade later, he was back in the same kingdom, older. The king also was older. And the monk asked, "O king, how are you?" "Oh, it's really good. Things have turned up since you last came. And the enemies we have made peace with them, and there is a bountiful harvest, and the ministers have been replaced, and the prince has turned out really quite well, So things are really, really good. They're all looking up, and, "Oh king, this too shall pass." They say, an optimist, what do you say, optimist and pessimist? A pessimist is one who sees the long dark tunnel. An optimist is one who sees the light at the end of the tunnel. But the realist is the one who sees the long dark tunnel and the light at the end of the tunnel and the next dark tunnel ahead. So Ashtavakra says, let it arise, let it subside. It's all right. I am that infinite ocean. I have not gained a little bit by the wonderful things happening in the world, and I have not lost a little bit by the terrible things happening in my life or in the world. You say that might lead to a kind of callousness. No, it won't. That argument, things will lead to callousness. You just need to look at the lives of the saints. They are the least callous of all people. We are callous. We really don't care. We just make arguments for caring for the world in order to escape being spiritual. Be spiritual, you will care much more for the world. All right. But this is the second level. It goes even deeper. Mai ananta maham bodho vishwam nama vikalpana ati shanto nirakara etadevahamastita. The third level. I am that infinite ocean of existence. But now it's a calm ocean. There are no waves. What I thought was the universe was just that, imagination. Mind is imagination, and the thoughts in the mind are also imagination. It's an appearance in consciousness. Therefore, what am I? Ati Shanta, Nirakara, formless. There is no real world out there, even when it's all appearing. And Ati Shanta, Shanta, peaceful. Ati Shanta, deeply quiet, peaceful, serene, beyond the possibility of disturbance. See, the peace of the mind, it can come, but it can be restless also. The mind can lose its peace. But the peace that passeth understanding, that cannot be disturbed. And that's our real nature. Upanishad calls you Shanta. Not that you have to be peaceful. Shanta is peace. You are peace itself. The mind is sometimes peaceful, sometimes without peace. The body is sometimes healthy, sometimes without health. The world and community are sometimes peaceful, sometimes without peace. But you are peace itself, beyond the possibility of disturbance. Yes. I'll leave it at that.